Steve, another really good workout and an impressive one as well.
Yeah, I think you can see now that the patterns of play and the work that's been done in the training ground is starting to come to fruition. Different patterns, different shapes, and 3 times in that game we changed the shape of the team and we come through it very comfortably, and it didn't weaken us. Probably in one part it strengthened us. Got some individuals, some good game time, and a day that started really warm, finished very wet. It takes us forward to the weekend, and we'll have a couple of games at the weekend and see if we can take the boys to 90 minutes, and then we'll send a team to Stamford and we'll be ready for the tournament.
I was going to say, how much has the weather affected you? Because it's been torrid, hasn't it?
Yeah, we just got on with work. I think we came in a little bit early yesterday in advance of the weather, but the boys had all done their work by 11:30, but the boys were in really early. I think it was some of them realised that 8 o'clock, there is 2 8 o'clocks in the day. It's not 1 8 o'clock. So they were in nice and early, but they're working incredibly hard as a group. And I just said to them there, if you work as hard as that in 46 league games, you'll get rewarded.
You talk about hard work. They certainly worked much harder than Derby County did tonight.
Well, Derby's full of good players. Liam's taken on a huge challenge, of course, and he's a young manager. He'll find his way. We were talking to him before the game, and it's been bought by a fan, if you like, a gentleman and a family that own the club. But he signed some really good players. A lot of those players has been up against my teams over the years, and you're full of quality. So I've got no fear that they'll do very well in League One, no fear at all.
And looking at your players, there were some huge performances out there. I mean, Michael Bostwick nearly got 90 minutes out of him, but what a performance from him.
Yeah, Michael was getting stronger as pre-season goes. We've had to look after Michael a little bit, not because of his age. I think he told me on Monday he's as fit as he's ever been in for the last 8 or 9 years in his career. So we've got him in a really good place, but we probably took him longer than we wanted tonight. But he'll not be with us on Thursday because his wife's having a baby. So we wish Michael and the family really well. But typical Bozzy, when the boys have a day rest tomorrow, he's coming in. So. But he set himself a good standard. But he was magnificent when at the end of last season. So there was no better defensive strength and midfield play in the league last season at the end of it.
And the 2 lads up front, of course, and Elliot List looked as sharp as we've ever seen him.
Yeah, Listy's a good player. We've worked a lot on his sharpness. We've worked a lot on his confidence. Elliot can go in the game where he wants to go. He's certainly, if he was playing for Derby County tonight, it would terrify you, wouldn't he? He's a really good player, but we're fortunate. He's our player. I thought Luke Norris was outstanding. And I thought when we brought the front lads on, I thought when we changed it and we went Jimmy Reid and Jordan Roberts and Danny Rose, they created different types of problems. And we made more clear-cut chances in the second half than we did the first. So, good competition.
Great goal from List as well. Made in the midfield, but excellent finish.
Excellent finish. And he's unlucky not to get a second, isn't he? It's an absolute top championship save, the second one. But he tucks it away well, he wrong foots the defender. Listen, when you get Elliot List pace, I used to say about Jack Marriott when I was at Peterborough, we sold him to Derby for £7 or £8 million. And I've said since that working with both, Elliot's quicker, more naturally stronger as well. So, and that's a great reference to be given because Jack's top class.
And the telling thing, we were talking about it up there, was there's no trialists in the squad. You're using the squad, and that can only help because players are learning the system.
Yeah, I've had to be quite strong in it. I don't like trialists. I never have. And when I say that, I think there's always an exception. I think the exception would be if you're trying to sign the player and the player wants to come and have a little look, and we understand that, then of course we'd involve them. But we've just absolutely chopped anybody coming in and hanging around for a week and using them. I feel sorry for some players, not all players. They get well paid and all the stuff, but I feel sorry for players that get sucked into being at a club just so that club can go through pre-season games, and then we're a week to go, they say, "Oh, sorry son, I'm not going to take you." There's a couple of managers in League One that I don't profess to be friendly with, but they have 8 or 9 trials every time your pre-season starts. They take none of them. So we don't do that. We do it our way. I'd rather involve and give the opportunity to the young boys. And I don't think there's one impact football in pre-season.
Still got some targets that you're trying to get into the club?
Yeah, very much so. I've got a review with the chairman tomorrow. He's a very honest man. He's very pragmatic. He wants us to strengthen the group. we have to do it sensibly and within the numbers that he's allocated, of course. But we're talking to myself and Leon, you know. It takes a bit of stick Leon at times, but the way this football club has watched since before me and it watched with me is it's the head coach and the manager who picks the players and Leon tries to do the deals. That's how it happens. So it's not the way around. So I've spoken about some players, the chairman has supported that, and Leon's trying to get them over the line, but he's got some wonderful players over the line so far, so he deserves great credit from me.
Just over a week to go now to the big kick-off. How do you use that time?
Well, we've got a couple of games, you know, over the weekend. We've got one again on Tuesday. What we'll do Tuesday will be subjective to how it goes over the weekend for us. But we want to push all the lads towards the weekend, and then we want a good week on the training ground. Get ready to go up to Tranmere. You know, you've got a Glaswegian facing a Glaswegian, Mickey Mellon, and he's a wonderful competitor. He's made some really good signings. Wonderful backing again from the Palios family, but Mickey deserves that. He's a top manager, you know, and it's we've got a real tough opening when you open up with Tranmere away and Stockport at home. That's really tough.